Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Right, and a very good afternoon to all my beloved students. I'm still waiting for you to join my class. Okay, so please make sure you drop your attendance by writing on the live chat. Okay, notice, okay, and make me notice that you are already with me. S1CP2. Okay, so what teacher plan to do, okay, this afternoon, teacher would like to continue discuss our topic chapter 3, okay, selection and speciation. So yesterday we have already start, okay, the topic by looking at the concept, okay, or the beginning of our lesson class. Okay, so I'm still waiting, Rafi. Okay, good afternoon, Rafi. So hoping your friends will join, okay, the class soon, okay, before teachers start our class. Okay, hoping, okay, with this class, with this session, okay, teacher need you to prepare together with you, okay, your tutorial books, and as well as yes, Rafi, teacher notice you, okay, Rafi. Hoping, okay, the rest of your friend also will soon join us. Okay, Bethany, yes, Bethany. Yeah, nice. Okay, Khadijah, right, kakak kawasan pun dah masuk dah ni. Okay. Okay, hoping Hafiz, Aish, Tes, Wei En, Intan, Syeda, Syaza, okay, Wahida, Elvina dah. Okay, so we continue our lesson class. Yesterday, teacher talk about giraffe, okay, and also share the giraffe. Okay, Zaim mana? Teacher tak nampak Zaim lagi ni. Cantik profile picture Elvina, very nice. Elvina. Okay, so good afternoon to all my beloved student S1CP2. So we are waiting for the rest of the friends. Amira, Alia, okay, dah masuk ni, dah join. Okay, and hoping teacher hope, okay, waiting for the full attendance before teacher can proceed. Okay, Nurin Alisha, Kairina Batrisha, Bethany. Okay, so what are we going to discuss today, class? Like teacher mentioned just now, okay, half hour, 30 minutes, okay, for 30 minutes, Kairina, teacher would like to discuss with you all the theory, and after that, 30 minutes after that, okay, we like to go through the few questions from your tutorial book, right? Okay, shall I start? Okay, so Teh Huiwen, Syafiqah Syaza, yes, teacher nampak kamu. Okay, let's start our lesson. Okay, I'm waiting for Zaim dah masuk, hadir Zaim. Okay, jom Zaim. Okay, waiting for the hero this afternoon, still teacher tunggu Aish ni. Aish tak ada lagi, Intan, Wahida, Nuri dah ada. Okay, siapa lagi yang Hafiz? Okay, hoping you all turn Roger your friends, Okay, so let's start class, Alright, okay, Zaim. Cikgu, actually where I get this data, Zaim? Okay, 28 to 30 is actually, okay, Zaim respond, from my survey. Okay, Zaim plan to got married, around this age. Okay, so referring to what during population ecology regarding the biotic potential, right? Okay, so this is the age, okay, that you start to reproduce. The age beginning of reproduction will contribute, okay, to the data of consensus, data bancian penduduk Malaysia. Zaim, dan Zaim plan to apa ni, target to have two kids only, Okay lah. So, mari kita tengok Okay. Zaim is the individuals who able to provide everything Hayward, sorry, T Okay, Zaim boleh sediakan tempat tinggal. Okay, Zaim dah siap beli kereta, beli rumah. Hintan Hafiz, saya macam nampak Hafidah Amir Rashidah. Okay, right. Okay, and Zaim also, able to, banyak duit boleh makan sedap-sedap. Right. Okay, and the most important thing, Zaim, boleh protect you from predation. Okay, compared to Minho, I think everyone knows this handsome guy. Zaim pun handsome juga our hero this afternoon for S1CP2. Okay, refer to Minho, he's the individual, memang handsome lah kalau Minho tahu ni habis cikgu kan. Tapi katalah dia tak ada fikir pun. Okay, nak makan ke tak makan lantak lah Syida kan. Okay, ada rumah pun rumah sewa je, tak kisah pun kalau nak beli rumah, ada rumah sendiri ke kan. Okay, and he don't care pun. Okay, which will you favorable? Kalau Syida diberi pilihan, Syida pilih mana? Zaim ke Minho? Okay, cuba all my girls drop your Dr. Aish Dr. Aish. Dr. Aish hadir ya. Dr. Aish give your comment, my beloved sweet girls. Okay, what do you think? Which one you will choose? Zaim ke Minho? Anyone? Teacher nak tengok Fazlina, Amira Rashidah, Nurin. Okay. No one dare to reply. Okay, just leave in the chat Okay, tak apa, takut Zaim ni marah apa ni. Okay, just to have an idea kelas Okay. So actually of course, kalau kamu tanya cikgu mesti pilih Zaim kan? Right? Of course teacher akan choose Zaim. Okay, why? Okay, tengok pada ciri-ciri Okay, he's the individual yang boleh protect you, right? Okay, so that is what actually ini from the survey, okay, cikgu dah jumpa dah pelajar yang nak anak 10 Syafiq rupanya. Okay, so samalah juga cikgu just ready ke inilah Vihang. Okay, this is from our previous lesson SEM SEM 1. Okay, so now teacher would like you to have a mindset class the choice that we make, the choice that you make, right? Okay, so everything you do is actually based on the choices you make. Okay? It's not your parents, right? It's not your past relationship. It's not your job, your economy banyak duit ke tak ada duit ke bukan environment keliling pun Okay? It's not an argument or even your age pun. Okay? That is to be blamed. Actually, whatever choices you make in this life is you. Okay? You and only you are responsible for every decision and choice that you make, right? Okay, so before we proceed, let's reset dulu doa kelas Cikgu masih tunggu semua orang ada, baru kita baca doa. Jom. Okay, Al-Fatihah. Amin, amin ya rabbal alamin. Okay. So, basically yesterday teacher dah kita dah discuss this kelas selection is actually the action, okay? The action or the fact or carefully choosing someone or something as being the best of most suitable. Ni kalau Oxford Dictionary lah But when we apply the concept what we learn in our topics, learning outcome selection, okay, you are able to explain the natural selection, the 3 types, okay, and all the graph. Teacher already upload, okay, another version of notes which include graph. Okay, it seems that this copy, this our copy for chapter 3, right? I think the printing the printing they got the one that don't have the graph. Okay, actually there is another file yang ada graph so teacher dah upload, then you may refer to that class So this is actually when you learn about natural selection is learning about the ancestor. You tengok pada ancestor kelas Okay, cikgu suka sangat ambil giraffe ni. Why? Yesterday kita dah discuss about the giraffe, right? Right. So this is the evolutionary that you can see the patterns of how nature select in term of phenotype of long neck in the giraffe, right? So giraffes neck are long. Yesterday kita dah bincang kenapa yang long lebih apa tu survive. Okay, so girls like them long. Okay, why? Because with the long neck, kebanyakannya jantan yang ada leher panjang ini, okay, they always win the competition, right? Okay, as you all know, like teacher mentioned, and if you still remember the population ecology, the density dependent factor and also the density independent factors, okay, that are all the factors that can be related in this concept of natural selection, because all the factors in the chapter, in the density dependent factors and independent factors is actually contribute to the pressure, okay? So having a long and powerful neck would be an advantage to the male, okay, because they tend to win, and they win, okay, during the mating, right? Okay. So as you all can see here, class, this one cikgu boleh skip, you all boleh baca, right? Okay. Kita nak teruskan lagi natural selection. This one we have discussed this yesterday. Okay. So this one, please bear in mind, class. These are all the list of selection pressure by nature. Teacher repeat. Okay, so these are all the lists, right? As you can see, this list can be common for UPS 2. Okay, so UPS 2, you Tanya, you already done your UPS 1 conclusion. Okay, so chapter 3 will be part of UPS 2. So another question that can be asked, untuk dalam soalan UPS 2 is this one, selection pressure. So these are all the lists that you need to memorize, okay? Okay, as you can see, like what teacher start our class yesterday, class, okay, the different size of neck, okay, the length of neck of that's shown by the giraffe, actually, okay, they are competing for what, class? Yes, competition for mates and also competition for food. Okay, so that is nature. That nature put the pressure, right? So you all pun tahu, kelas, antara carbon dengan diamond, okay, which one is more priceless, cantik, mahal? Okay, it is a diamond, right? But diamond and carbon, kalau you tengok, they are from the same source, carbon, but because the pressure, it becomes diamond, kan? Itu kalau konsep how pressure will change something, So same goes to the nature, right? Because of survival, because to be fit, okay, in order to be fit in the environment, to the environment, okay, they have to evolve and fit to the environment, right? By all these factor. Okay, so an allele that helps an organism compete better is selected for increase in frequency. So this concept also you can relate for Hardy-Weinberg concept, what we have learned during the genetic pool, the genetic frequency. That's why Hardy-Weinberg, you can apply the concept Hardy-Weinberg in order to understand better about the natural selection, right? Okay, so kita ada 3 jenis. Okay, natural selection had been, okay, but before that, teacher will just like to have a look, right? I think you all experience looking at this male cone, okay, depan di SG, cikgu dah share kan. Hoping you all dah tengok the real one, right? Okay, so this teacher would like to share about human. Yeah, if you still remember last semester, teacher ada tunjukkan during reproduction topic, right? Okay, actually different country shows different sizes of penis. Okay, kalau you all tengok all the colors shows the different length. Okay, the ethnic groups in the world by the end of the 20th century. So Malaysia is similar to this one, to this here. We are roughly, okay, our size is between where is the color? Just this one, class. So we are around 9 to 13.5 lah. Okay, we are Asian, Indian, okay, Malagasy, Right, so if you see class this is actually teacher bagi tunjuk sekejap lah kan right, the size of the different penis length. Okay, when you plot the graph, by frequency against the length, right, against the length, you can see the pattern. Okay, agak-agak kamu apa kelas? Yeah, this is what teacher mentioned just now class most of the population in the country, okay, 68% is moderate. Moderate okay, yang ekstrim pendek, ekstrim panjang, you tengok ekstrim pendek ni dalam less than 7. 7 tu kalau teacher ada ruler tu you boleh bayangkan lah where's my ruler? Okay, if I show you my ruler 7 panjang ni je kan. Okay, you tengok kelas 7 Okay, this is extremely short. Okay, kalau extremely long, yang cikgu ni, this whole ruler is 15. Okay, tambah lagi 4 itu extremely long lah but roughly kalau yang normal is around this lah ini normal. Okay, 8 to 13, 14. Okay, so that is how you study class so basically these are the 3 type of natural selection. Stabilizing we have done. Okay, yesterday teacher also have shared this with you, right class? So teacher would like to proceed with the second. This is stabilizing. Okay, and this is the arrow. The arrow shows the apa class? Arrow shows the pressure. Okay, pressure against both extreme and left out the intermediate. So stabilizing selection. Okay, naturally favorable in terms of intermediate phenotype compared to the extreme phenotype. Okay, favor intermediate phenotype and against both of extreme phenotype. Both class meaning both extreme, yang pendek ataupun yang panjang Okay, so this graph you must be master. Okay, teacher repeat again class you have to master this graph. I mean you must be able to plot this graph. Okay. Alright, next. And then you have to memorize this example. The example given is length wing of hawk. Right? Okay. So far, so good, class. Alright, so next we go to the second. Okay, this is the example. Teacher would like you to sketch. Mana tadi? Dia cepat sangat, class. So I think teacher already share with you this graph, okay, from in your Google Classroom, so you may refer to. Okay, I'm so sorry. They keep on the slide keep on change sendiri So this is the intermediate kan lebih stabilize. Sorry, lebih survive There is an optimum with wing length for a hawk. Okay, in order to survive in the environment. Okay, you tahu hawk ni macam group of eagle, right? Okay, so kalau you relate to the tropical rainforest, okay, they are the example of organism, okay, that what class that you can be found in the emergent strata. Okay. Alright, next, the second type of selection is directional. Teacher repeat, directional. You may refer to our notes. Direct, kalau you tahu dalam satu arah kelas. Direct. So this selection, this natural selection, what we call as a directional, okay, is favor for only one extreme phenotype. Okay, favor one extreme phenotype and against another extreme. So in this case, intermediate tak wujud Okay, directional selection ni intermediate tak wujud So it will against the another extreme phenotype. Okay, so the example given totally, okay, the most popular one, I think you known this this kupu-kupu what we call bitularia. Okay. There are two. This moth only have two different phenotype. The white one and the black one. Okay. So compare previous century. Now we are in the 20th century, right? So if this moth live in during that that means dulu-dulu kelas 5th century, okay, maybe the black one cannot survive. Okay, because during that time our environment still still okay kelas but when there is changes in terms of revolution, right? So you can observe that with the change in the environment, okay, and the extreme condition, it give a pressure to the Biston Bitularia. So this is actually the normal curve class, the original population. Okay, number of individuals, again, teacher emphasize. Paksi Y, remember if you are asked to sketch this graph in order to represent the selection, directional, okay, but Paksi Y will be number of individuals against the trait or against the phenotype. So, directional dia ada dua je phenotype, dua-dua extreme. Okay, so directional is against another extreme phenotype. So in this case, we have two example of both Bitularia, okay, the black pepper moth, okay. So they directional to the right. Kamu tengok sini kelas So this is the Biston Bitularia. Okay, in this 20th century, the white Biston can't survive anymore. Why? Because they easily to be catch by the predator, right? Compared ni last time class but the black one will more survive because they can camouflage with the dirty trunk. So this is what we call as a directional. You get me class So the black pepper moth, the Biston Butaria, is more suited to live in the dirty area with this revolution of industrial revolution. Okay, because the environment become with the smoke, right, from the factory, so it will cause the trunk, okay, ataupun batang pokok become more dirty, so it will blend with the black compared to the white, right? So that is the example of nature. Okay, the pressure that put by nature is upper class. Okay, in this case is the habitat. Okay, it change. Alright, then the third one is disruptive selection. Disruptive selection. Teacher repeat. Disruptive selection. Okay, so disruptive selection pula contrast from stabilizing. Stabilizing favor the intermediate, but this disruptive favor both extreme and against the intermediate. Okay, natural selection that favor both extreme, okay, but against the intermediate. Against the intermediate, the average phenotype. Right. So, let's see the example. Okay. For the example that given here is the Galapagos Island. Okay. Finches bird. Okay. Bird that what the group of bird, what we call as finches. Okay. Finches ni scientists discover at the Galapagos Island. Kalau you all nanti Google, you akan jumpa this all example. This is a very popular example. Okay, class Galapagos Island. So where is the Galapagos Island? Okay, Galapagos Island is actually 1 km west of South America, sorry. This is South America. Okay, so this is where the scientists discover about this concept of natural selection, which involve disruptive. Alright? And the example that used is the bird, what we call the group of finches. Okay? So in the Galapagos, okay, in order to survive, the finches need to modify their beaks. This is the Galapagos Island. Very nice, hoping doa banyak-banyak pandemic COVID-19 ni. Okay, so do you know that is will be hari ini dalam sejarah? Anyone? Siapa yang tahu? Do you know what today is actually will be one of the important day today, 24th February. Anyone tahu tak hari ni apa akan berlaku? Siapa tahu? Kalau siapa tahu nanti cikgu belanjalah kamu roti Anyone please leave a comment or okay, it is regarding with the vaccine class. Anyone? Regarding with the vaccine. Ada siapa tahu about the vaccine today? Okay, today 24th February will be apa kelas? Okay, our Prime Minister will be the first who will injected our Prime Minister and also our pengarah Dr. Isham Dr. Isham akan disuntik dengan the first. Okay, they both of them will be the first yang akan receive the vaccination pandemic COVID-19. Ya, okay. Vaksin dah sampai lagi 9. Oh, belum lagi ya cepat betul ya. Right, a good trial dia. Okay, a good trial but tak tepat ya Okay, so actually today teacher nak you all get to ambil tahu juga kelas ambil peduli juga, cakna juga. Okay, because today our country, okay, our Prime Minister will be the first person and also plus our pengarah KKM Malaysia, Dr. Isham they both of them will be the person that will be injected by the vaccine, right? Okay, so back to our discussion, Galapagos Island. So this is the finches bird. Okay, so finches bird, in order to survive in this island ni kelas very okay, kalau you all nak go bercuti kat sini holiday kat sini ya boleh cuma nantilah wait for everything back to normal hoping. Alright, okay. So what is how the environment from this Galapagos Island dengan bentuk muka buminya you tengok kelas dengan bentuk muka buminya dengan surroundingnya. So how the birds nak survive? How they survive? Okay, how they try to reduce competition. Like teacher mentioned earlier class list of okay. So how they nak reduce the competition, especially competition in terms of food, right? So in order to that they show different size. Okay, different size in terms of beak. Sebab tu kalau you tengok nota kita refer to our notes on page 78, okay, under the shape. Okay, teacher repeat the class in examination. If this question come out in PSPM, when you are asked example for destructive, okay, the example that given, this is the one that you must memorize, and if you must write down size and shape. N means kena ada dua-dua. Tak boleh satu kelas Teacher repeat kelas. Okay, highlight in your notes size and shape. Please highlight inside from your notes size and shape beak of finches in Galapagos Island. So this is the example. So if you can from this diagram you can see here class the different shape and the different size. Ada yang besar, ada yang kecil. Ada okay, yang tebal. Okay, so let's say we take this example yang makan buah di island Galapagos Island. Okay, finches that feed on the fruits. So they call that finches as vegetarian. Bukan kita je ada vegetarian Elvina vegetarian ke? Kalau kalau kita manusia vegetarian, finch pun ada yang vegetarian where these finches, okay, they consume on food right, and they live in the trees, right. So dia tak bergaduh dah. So as you can see how these finches from evolution, you can see this type of finches, okay, they adapt the feeding like a parrot like beak. That's why you see dia punya beak macam big parrot parrot like beak. Okay, so compare to this one ni kelas yang agak yang beak dia agak tajam. Okay, so this type of beak we call, there are two types, cactus ground finch and woodpecker finch. So that walaupun kamu macam lebih kurang sama, but they feed on different food. Okay, this one they more to cactus. Okay, Galapagos Island tu ada cactus pokok cactus So they will these finches stay in ground. So they tak compete for space. Right? So just nice kita tengok kelas 3 group ini stay ground, another 3 group ini stay on the tree. So this is how nature give a pressure to these finches in order nak survive, nak feed. Okay, boleh makan, boleh biak. So you have to, and the evolution involve the selection. Okay, so in this case, intermediate tak survive. Sorry Okay, slowly intermediate, you tak boleh jumpa intermediate kat sini. Sama ada extreme phenotype Okay, sama ada small phenotype atau long phenotype atau both extreme phenotype. There is no intermediate. That is the type of what we call as apa class? Destructive. Okay. Alright. Last but not least, before we discuss a few questions. So teacher summary lah class. When we put together all the three types, the three curve. Okay. So you can see the different in terms of patterns. Right. The dotted one is the natural selection. So this is, kalau nampak ini kelas, this is directional. Okay, against one extreme Okay, yang tengah ni adalah against intermediate. So dia disruptive. And yang paling tepi ni against both extreme. So this is stabilizing. Okay, so this is how you learn about natural selection So this is another way of showing it. So what is this class? Yes, this is stabilizing. Okay. So, kalau arrow selalunya, kalau dalam soalan tanya, what is the meaning of the arrow? The arrow shows the, the pressure, okay, that nature put against the population. Okay. Right. So, say this one. Graph ni apa kelas? Anyone? Respond to teacher. This one is directional. Right. Okay. Another one. Okay, this one against the intermediate. This one is the disruptive selection. Yeah, very good, everybody. Okay, so I think that's teacher have done with the natural selection. Okay, do not forget actually, even though naturally there is a few there is a selection that caused by nature, but as a human being. Okay, yang Tuhan kita kepandaian IQ yang tinggi, yang bijak pandai. Okay, we are also contribute to the selection what we call artificial. Okay, we are the one Okay, human have modified other species. Okay, and how you possess this class? With the desirable phenotype. Do you desire phenotype apa yang kita desire? Most of the human desire. So scientists introduce this. Okay, for those yang minat nak jadi doktor veterina, anyone in class from S1CP2? Ada siapa nak jadi doktor veterina? Okay, you akan also contribute to this artificial selection. Right, where you are the one will select. Dia ada dua proses kan? Selecting and breeding. Okay, kamu pilih dan kamu akan paksa dia breed. Like teacher yesterday share dengan kamu kelas let's say you want to breed a lot of deer. So you kena tahu what is favorable. Okay, the female deer favor apa pada the male deer. Then the selection will success, right? Itu yang kena study the behavior of the deer. Okay. Alright, next. Teacher nak tunjukkan kamu kelas This is what teacher mentioned. Okay, agak-agak kamu lah kelas. From the tree graph. Okay, from the tree graph the stabilizing, the destructive, and also the directional. The human intervention or the artificial selection will show which graph, which pattern of graph class. Anyone? You can leave your comment class You can leave a comment on the live chat. Okay, which one do you think is which back to the graph? Okay, we have three graphs. Naturally, there are three types. But when artificial selection, it will only choose one graph. Do you think which one, class? Okay, yes, it will show. Kalau teman kat sini. Okay, like teacher mentioned and also noted in your books. Okay, in our books, dia ada sebut kat situ. Right, okay, is a directional selection. Directional. Okay, directional selection pressure. Why? Because we only choose the desirable phenotype. Desirable phenotype is actually referring to apa kelas? Yang you desire, yang you nak, yang very extreme. Okay, yang you nak tu je, the very extreme Okay, so example there are two class Actually, there are two, right, cikgu bagi kat sini. There are two types of artificial. Okay, iaitu inbreeding and outbreeding. Okay, so you may refer to your notes, inbreed, outbreed. In. Breeding hujung sama kelas, tapi depan ada satu out, satu in. So, what is the difference between inbreeding and outbreeding? So, kita mulakan dulu dengan inbreeding. Okay, in means, okay, inbreeding means going to the, ni ialah example, So, I think dalam soalan tutorial kita ada soalan tentang about this artificial. Okay, okay, if you experience these vegetables, broccoli. Okay, broccoli buat goreng sayur campur sedap kan? Cabbage, you all tahulah. Kalau pergi kedai mamak, sayur kobis ni memang one of the basic. Okay, cauliflower. Hari ni cauliflower ni biasa siapa suka makan tom yum. Okay? So actually, if you refer to this cabbage, okay, cabbage is actually example of artificial selection. We are the human that choose to have this type of different cabbage, right? In order to fulfill our requirement, So you can see this class, So this is artificial selection untuk pertama kamu kelas, right? I think the small cabbage ni you can find at Cameron Highland, So actually the Manchester yang ni je lah, is actually from the wild mustard. Manchester je. Aku tengok Manchester dia kecil je. Okay, so artificial selection is actually more to directional selection pressure, which lead to the changes in allele and genotype, right? Okay, so it will produce a new breeds, a new strain, a new variety, a new races. Alright, so artificial ada dua jenis, outbreeding and inbreeding. So inbreeding means apa kelas? Okay, in tu kamu ingat kelas related individuals. Cikgu repeat. I think you can highlight in your notes. Okay, it mentioned in your notes, the first paragraph, between closely related individuals, right? Between closely related individuals. Okay, and the extreme being self-fertilization, which occur in many plants and primitive animals. Okay, so it between plants and primitive animals. And when talking about inbreeding, if referring to the Hardy-Wen work, okay, the gene pool is less variation because it consider marriage between most of the same relative, because they are two related, that inbreed. Okay, kalau you tengok bila sebut out ni, kalau saya macam think out of the box, meaning something's more wide, lagi besar, luas, So outbreed means mating between unrelated or distantly related individuals, okay? Between, sometimes tak ada related pun these two species. Contoh yang cikgu rasa kamu biasa dengar, the ternet, the yamyo, ayam dengan puyuh, okay? So it will produce hybrid, Okay, so you can see all the example, So cikgu tunjukkan je because it's already 2:40. Teacher would like to discuss the tutorial question, right? Okay, so just to make you notice, okay, in your notes, okay, please take notes that page 79 class, page 79, prolonged inbreed can lead to the loss of vigor. Okay, kalau inbreed ni berterus, okay, it will make the population not healthier anymore. Okay, so reduction in fertility, and this will particular problem in the breeding of livestock. You all highlightkan tu kelas, That is from our notes. Okay. Also, the inbreeding effect, it will reduce the variability of the genome. Okay, like teacher mentioned in class, because they are mating with the same relative. So, in term of gene pool, okay, in term of allele frequency dia, right, dia akan jadi less variable atau reduced variable, right? See, it will show less variation. So, that is the effect of inbreeding, Okay, now let's see the outbreeding pula. Okay, when talk about outbreeding, okay, contohnya seperti, I think this is the most popular example kelas the mule. Mule is actually between the horse and the donkey, right? It's on the page 80 kelas muka surat 80 Okay, kuda, okay, mating with donkey, they get the infertile offspring, what we call as a mule. Okay, but mule is produced, and what we call mule is a hybrid, known as a hybrid, right? Okay, so what is the effect Okay, the effect of outbreed. Okay, kalau tengok outbreed, it will increase the lihat pada point hybrid bergo the offspring from the crosses between genetically different parents, right? So the hybrid will increase the outbreed will increase the hybrid vigor on heterozygosity. Meanings for outbreed, their phenotype, okay, in the gene pool. Kalau you still remember, Hadi Weinberg class, the concept of frequency of allele. Okay, for outbreed, the heterozygous individu is increase. Lagi banyak and it will show more in term of population. So you can see all sorts of example that given, right? And if in plants, okay, it always shows by the yielding crops. Yielding crops. Okay, so this is also another example from animals, such as dogs, cats. Okay, nowadays they breed the cat and the dogs for fashion. Okay, because the pet, right? Contohnya seperti sheepdogs, alright. So animal on farm are bred so that they produce more food. Contoh macam apa tu? Macam cow with better meat, hens with lay more eggs. Alright. So last but not least, before we stop, for selection. So these are all the questions that can be that can be asked in PSPM class. Okay, it can be asked by, you need to explain the natural and artificial as well. And you also can be asked, okay, by being the type of natural selection, the 3 type selection. Okay, and sometimes the question, satu lagi soalan pasias, the question did ask you to sketch the graph, okay, the 3 graph, and able to explain atau analyze each graph in term of the patterns of natural selection. So I think I'll stop sharing for the PowerPoint. Okay, now let's move to our discussion. Okay, like teacher mentioned just now, teacher would like to proceed with our discussion for tutorial. So everyone please turn to page 19 of our tutorial book. Okay, and we are going to discuss that question so that you have an idea what is actually all about the selection. Okay, so teacher hope everybody dah ready. So if you're ready, so let's start our discussion. Okay, class Okay, let's start our discussion. Teacher start sharing. Okay, so this is the our tutorial question. Okay, so given in the question class, the 2 graph. Automatically, when you see these 2 graph, okay, you all dah terus dapat the class. Okay, automatic, the first graph, okay, the A, the graph A and the graph B. Okay, the question asks you to name the graph A. So, where is the graph A, class? Yeah, automatically, like teacher mentioned, this graph shows the variable of nature in terms of extreme phenotype. Only one extreme phenotype. So when the pressure is against another phenotype, so it will change. So you nampak dia favor to the extreme phenotype. So this is directional selection. Boleh class Okay, and the B like teacher mentioned in class the pressure is against this arrow. Okay, pressure put on the intermediate phenotype. So when the pressure against the intermediate phenotype, okay, and both extreme phenotype survive, okay, both extreme phenotype feed, so what we call that is a disruptive selection. Okay, so then the next question asks you to explain. So this is also how you're going to answer during your essay question. So macam mana you nak explain class A? B. B is the disruptive. So what is the point that you think you need to write down in order to describe this graph? Anyone? Okay. Okay, my student, you can try to leave your comment or leave your answer in the live chat, right? So that I can see you. Anyone would like to try? Okay, Zaim, our hero ini, Zaim, what do you think? How are you going to explain the selection B? The selection for graph B. Okay, what do you think is the first point you akan cari, kelas? The first point mesti sebut apa, kelas? Yes, ceritakan that selection B, okay, is actually referring to the phenotype, the nature against ataupun the pressure against the intermediate phenotype, okay, and favor the two extreme phenotype. Right? Cikgu ulang sekali kelas, So if you want to explain this B graph, okay, you have to mention that, okay, from the graph given, the arrow that shows, okay, the arrow itu menunjukkan apa, kelas? The pressure, okay, the pressure is against the intermediate phenotype, but favor. Tu cikgu ulang kelas, This is the keyword yang mesti ada. Favor and against. Favor apa? Favor the nature, favor the two extreme phenotype, and against the intermediate phenotype. Right? Okay. So the intermediate phenotype apa jadi, kelas? The intermediate phenotype in the population will gradually decrease. Lama-lama dah tak ada. Okay. Decrease in number, and this will lead to the splitting of two subpopulation. So this is what you see from the finches in the Galapagos Island. They have two subpopulation. Satu yang hidup di atas tree, satu lagi yang live in the ground. Okay, so totally two different habitat. Alright. Okay, the question asks you proceed. B. So far boleh ikut cikgu kelas? Okay, teacher nak habiskan soalan ni. Okay, B. Soalan B, briefly explain the selection in B. Compare A and stabilizing. Okay, now A and stabilizing. So, stabilizing automatically, teacher would like you to sketch the graph. Right? Ingat tadi apa, kelas? Stabilizing is, part CY is apa? Is number of individual. Okay, number of individual against phenotype. And stabilizing is favor for intermediate. So, you draw like this, class, stabilizing. Okay. So, stabilizing favor intermediate phenotype. So, what is the similarity and the differences between A and stabilizing? So, when in terms of similarity, both A and stabilizing, they reduce genetic variability. Okay, kenapa, class? Because yang survive hanya this phenotype. Phenotype yang moderate je, the intermediate je yang survive. Yang extreme ni semua tak ada. Okay, for stabilizing. And for selection A juga. Selection A, as you can see, okay, the extreme, this one will decrease ataupun tak ada dah. Yang hanya kekal yang ini. That's why artificial pun shows the same thing. Okay, so difference A favor the extreme phenotype, while the stabilizing favor intermediate phenotype. It's very clear. Right? A is against one extreme phenotype, while stabilizing against dua extreme. Ni satu je kelas ni. Kalau A is satu, kalau stabilizing both. A occur when there is a gradual change in the environment, while stabilizing occur when there is no change. That is the difference between stabilizing and disruptive. A itu directional. Okay, soalan ni lah directional and stabilizing. Okay, next. Teacher nak kamu terus kepada soalan berikutnya. Okay, soalan apa ni? What is the factor that enable the phenotype is selected in natural selection? Yes. Ni yang cikgu cakap semalam kelas. Have greater fitness. Okay, atau ability to adapt with its environment. Siapa yang cepat adapt, memang cepatlah ramai dapat kawan, kan? That is how you first time datang sampai kuala pilah, right, kelas, adapt to the environment, okay? Okay, next for question 2 is actually question about essay question. So, this one, teacher nak you buat, Soalan 2 is your homework. Nanti cikgu nak tunjuk, cikgu nak you tunjuk cikgu esok. Okay, it's your homework. So, cikgu terus kepada soalan 3. Okay, we discuss the structure question, So, we can done until the artificial question yang lembu tu. Okay, next soalan 3. Okay, figure 2 shows one type of natural selection in finches. Right, in finches, like teacher mentioned, that live in a large island, okay, where abundant ray allows a great variety and abundance of food. Okay, itu dalam keadaan di mana ample of food. Tiba-tiba berlaku kemarau. A drought strike. So, what happened, class? As you all know, when kemarau tak ada air kan? So, what happened to the plants? Okay, the plants will all reduce in size. Produce small and medium seed. Okay, plants that produce small and medium seed begin to die. Okay, and ini akan menyebabkan difficulty for the small and medium big finch to find a food. Right? Okay, so what happened, class? So, which phenotype is favored during the drought season and suggest reason why they are selected? Okay, so agak-agak kamu, this is the big size. It's the big size, class, right? And in this, and from this graph, okay, you can obviously see this is involved to extreme phenotype, Okay, two extreme phenotype. Okay, so the two extreme phenotype is, kamu tengok kat sini kelas, the small big, okay, the small big and the large big. Environment change. Ini kita tengok, nature berubah, Okay, pressure pun jadi. So, pressure kat sini is the changes of climate. So, tiba-tiba musim kemarau. So, what happened, class? Which extreme phenotype can survive? Okay, anyone boleh leave a comment dalam tu? Right? Okay, yeah, So, yang akan survive, of course, the large big. Okay, why the large big, class? Why the large big yang akan lebih survive compared to the small big? Okay, it will refer to the the plants yang evolve, Okay, because large bee will survive because their food is still available. Why? Just now, yang small seed semua dah mati, pokok-pokok yang menghasilkan all the small seed have been died. Okay, so yang tinggal lagi pokok-pokok yang menghasilkan large seed. So because the pressure that give from the nature, because of the kemarau, because of the drought, okay, all the small all the finch, burung yang berparuh kecil, slowly they will die. Okay, and leave the extreme extreme large big. So that is how you start you talk about the directional population, directional selection by nature. Okay, next this one. Okay, soalan minta kamu draw a selection curve where there is only medium seed available. Okay, kalau medium seed available, so you are referring to the stabilizing. Okay, so the pressure, mesti look at the arrow, class, what is the arrow indicate? And the arrow indicates the pressure. You must draw the arrow. Okay, the arrow pressure, the arrow show the pressure against the extreme, both extreme, this one. So it will shows the only those number of population yang intermediate yang survive. Okay, so state one example for each type of natural selection. So like teacher mentioned just now, you ambil je, in our notes we are referring to the wing length of hawk, or eagle. Right? Okay, so apa jenis natural selection ni, kelas? So, this is a disruptive selection. Okay, so variety of big size and shape in the Galapagos Island. Right? Itu stabilizing satu. Okay, disruptive is a variety of big size in the Galapagos Island. And directional is the industrial Biston bitularia. Okay, ataupun big size pun boleh juga. Tapi kita lebih guna pada ni lah. Okay, kelas, last but not least, before we end our tutorial, cikgu pada kelas lagi depan dengan P1. Okay, tengok ni, 2 ekor lembu ni. Ui, okay. So, seekor jantan, seekor betina. Ni jantan, macam tahu jantan ni tengok, Okay, ini betina. Right? Okay, so define artificial selection, class. So, when we refer to artificial selection, it's actually referring to the animals and plants reproduce to ensure certain desirable traits are represented the next generation. Okay, so dua jenis, inbreed and outbreed, like teacher mention in class. Okay, so far so good class. So kenapa manusia invent class? Why human breed animals and plants for specific purpose? Okay, and identify the desirable characteristic of a cattle that cause human to selective breeding because we want more meat. Kita ni kan fikir nak buat apa ni, chicken chop, bukan chicken chop, apa tu? What to say? What is that class? Stick kan? We want more meat and we want more milk. Okay, kalau stick yang mahal tu sampai 50 kan? Alright, 50, 60 ada. Kalau itu cukup makan kat chili, 50 stick. Kalau orang kaya boleh lah kan? Ya kan? Okay, so increase the genetic effect of prolonged inbreed in heterozygote. Okay, when you prolong inbreed means apa tadi kelas? Inbreed means same species, so same relative. Okay, so it will increase homozygote. So dia akan mengurangkan apa kelas? Reduction in fertility. Right? Because when you inbreed heterozygous, you will reduce the viability of the genome. Okay, the population, the genetic population, I mean the frequency of allele of heterozygous will be eliminate. Lama-lama akhirnya akan hilang for the inbreed. Itu kalau keburukan inbreed, right? Okay, last but not least, class differentiate between inbreeding and outbreeding. So you can get the idea is that inbreeding, okay, is the mating between closely related individual, like teacher mentioned from the notes, whereas outbreeding is the is the rating between unrelated individual. Okay, so this one you can get from your notes, right? And F, apa advantage ni kelas hybrid that produce outbreeding have greater strength. Okay, outbreed ni sebab kita combine two like mule just now class, horse and donkey so dia ada longer lifespan. Sebab tu kamu tengok mule ini daya tahan dia angkat barang overload memang kuat. Okay, alright, and give disadvantages of inbreeding in domesticated animals and crops. So this is more to short essay class. So for G, okay, disadvantages in breeding is a more short essay that can be asked during your PSPM. So I think you can get the whole point, right? Decrease the hybrid vigor, increase incidence of metabolic disorder, loss of genetic variation, decrease fertility, right? Okay, greater risk of spontaneous abortion, and shorter lifespan of animal, and decrease yield in crops. So these are the advantages. So I think teacher stop until here. Okay, next tomorrow we are going to continue with speciation, right? So make sure you get read up class what is a speciation all about, and try to work out all the tutorial question in order to get understand better about this topic. Okay, so I think that's all for today. Hoping to see you tomorrow class. Food supply is enough. Yes, yeah. Thank you, yeah. Okay. So I will share you the link. Okay, and thank you class. Bye. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat petang. Bye.